Hi, welcome to Doodle Club. Today we're going to do something cute and scary. So I thought maybe we should draw a clown. We can make it look a little bit cute with a very concerned look. But obviously it's a clown, so it's going to be scary as well. We're also going to try and do this really quick as well. So grab your pens. Let's do it. I'm going to use my usual setup of a pencil, a small pen, so a 0.1. 0.1, 0.5 and a 1.5, so a thin, a medium and a fat. Most of my work is going to be done with a medium pen, that 0.5. The fat one is for a bit of colouring in. The small thin one, 0.1, is just for a few little details we'll add afterwards. Okay, let's go and do this. We're going to put some basic shapes in first for our clown head. Now this first shape is the main shape of the head. Now it can be anything. It can be round, it can be really tall and skinny, so go for something weird. My suggestion is, as we're doing quite a quick one, and this is a fairly simple drawing, maybe draw two. Maybe at the top here or side by side, draw one that's a normal shape following me, another one that's a weird shape. Still following me, still the same process, but just a change in that original shape will make all the difference. Okay, so yeah, let's get and put in these pencil lines. I'm going to go in for something like that, a bit of a potato shape, a little bit wonky, nothing too wonky. It wants to be a head shape, so you still kind of want it relatively kind of consistent in its shape. So just think like a potato kind of shape and you'll be absolutely fine. Then we're going to put in a mouth. So this mouth is just going to be a happy sausage. It's going to touch each side of the potato shape that we put in. Happy sausage like that. You can go happier if you want, it's totally up to you. Next thing we'll do, a couple of eyes. So go and put in here a couple of eyes up there, just a couple of circles so that we know roughly where the eyes are going. Then we're going to go and put a hat on. So this hat, we're just going to do it with two circles. We're going to squash them down just a little bit. So the first circle is going to straddle this pencil line up here. So let's go for something like that. Like I say, straddling that pencil line. I probably made mine float a little bit too high. There, you might want to bring it down just a little tiny bit, but nothing too much. Second line just up here somewhere, another circle just a little bit smaller. Well, half the size really is what you want to go with. Let me see. That's it. That's all the guidelines you're going to need. Let's not mess around with too many guidelines because I want to get straight in and doing the inking. And so with the inking, let's go and start off with the mouth and the nose down here. First thing we'll do, nice big circle for our nose. This circle, you want it getting really close to this lip. Okay, that's the inside of the mouth just there. We are going to put the outer mouth in as well, but get it really close to that lip. So something like that. Obviously double line it. Make it nice and wonky. Like that. See how it's quite close to everything, just a big old circle right in the middle there. We are going to add a dark shadow here, so let us take a little line from there to about there. And then this bit down here, we're going to colour that bit in. Use your 1.5 if that's a little bit quicker for you. Awesome. And straight away you can see how that thickening out that line has just made that really pop out a little bit more because it looks like a shadow. Okay, let's go and do the mouth now. So we're going to do the happy sausage bit first. And of course, we're going to double line as we go along with that one. Then we're going to do the outer lip. Now the outer lip is going to be let's see, let's do big lips. We're going to come out one side of the nose, we're going to go back in the other side of the nose, we're going to go all the way around the mouth. So like this, look, coming out one side, all the way around, drop in the other side. Double line that as well. Again, just making sure it's nice and wonky. And then let's go and put some teeth in. So with these teeth, we're going to start off with some big ones in the middle here. So I always start off the middle at the top and work my way out. That's to make it look symmetrical. But let's go and put in some teeth there. And then as we go out towards the side, what I want us to do is just have it so that it's coming from behind the next tooth. So like this, look, coming from there, coming from there. So it just makes those teeth look like they're sitting behind each other. Double line that. Let's do another big tooth on the other side. And then have those extra teeth all coming from behind each other. Double line it all. And let's do the same for the bottom set of teeth. Just remembering that those front teeth are first, right in the middle, and then all the other teeth kind of come from behind. So here we go, another big front tooth that side. All the other teeth just sitting behind. Awesome stuff. Let's get our fat pen out again and let's colour in the inside of that mouth. Now, if you're not a fan of colouring in, you might just want to pencil out a tongue. Put in a big tongue, then you can leave that tongue white. Just colour in the edges. But I like areas of contrast all over my picture. So this is where you've got like loads of white areas, loads of black areas, and then all those bits in between. And the way I kind of look at it is, imagine if your artwork was turned into a black and white photo or black and white image. Would you be able to see the difference? If your artwork was turned into a black and white image and all you could see was the grayscale, the midtones, then you probably should be asking yourself, can I go a little bit darker, a little bit lighter in some of these areas? I like there's a very definite black area and white area in here. Okay, before we move on from the lips, let's just do a little bit of flicking out just across that top line of the lips. And in fact, I will zoom in on this bit. So just across that top line, we're just going to go across here. Little flick out like that. Same kind of thing across the top on the other side. Little flick out, just for a little crease. Let's move ourselves down, so just following around the side of that mouth. And again with another little flick out, look. Same on this side. And hopefully what we're trying to do there is just give that mouth a little bit more shape. Beautiful. Right, we'll come back to the mouth. We will add some little shaded bits in there later, but that is great for the time being. Okay, let's quickly move on to our next section, which is the hat up the top. So let's get up in there. Now with this hat, we're going to add a couple of little chips, a couple of little gaps in the hat as well. So first thing to do is right at the top here, let's take a little V shape out about there. A little V shape. Then what we're going to do is go all the way around the rest of the top of that hat, that circle. Keeping it wonky. Wonky's good. Now this next bit is the bit to really concentrate on, because what we're going to do is going to bring a line down that side and a line down from that side, and we're going to end up somewhere in the middle of this circle down here. So maybe like touching the head is kind of what you want to aim for. Let's a line down there and a line down there. You want to aim for just being kind of in the middle. You see, like that circle, do a line through it, hitting the head, and you want to aim for the middle part of that. Let me show you the next bit though, because that'll make it make a lot more sense. We're going to take that curve across the top, going to mash it up with this curve across the bottom of the hat. We're just going to put in a curve about there. Okay. Finish this top piece off with a little line from here, look. So we've got that little chip out the top of the hat. Is now 3D. Bottom part of the hat, nice and easy. We're just going to go round the rest of that circle that you can see. Don't go through this top of the hat. Round the rest of the circle, but we are going to take out a couple of little chips, look. A couple of little V shapes on there on the inside. Then we can go around the rest of the hat. Like so. Awesome. Right, last thing to do on the hat, that little curve that we did at the base of the hat, let's just do another little line a little bit further up. That same curve, just a little bit further up. Obviously at this stage you can do whatever you want with your hat, but I like a little band going across the base of the hat there like that. Okay, let's finish off this hat with a little double-ended flick off on both sides. Double-ended flick off kind of starting about there. It's just adding a bit of a rim to the hat. On either side, fat and wonky in the middle. Thin and tapered on the end. Okay, that'll do for the hat. That's kind of like our halfway stage. That's making some really good progress there. Are you ready for the eyes next? Let's go and whack in these eyes now. Cute and scary is the target. So it's a clown that I'm relying on the clown part to make it look scary. And we will kind of make it look a little bit gruesome towards the end, but let's make it look cute. Now, this is the best way I've got of making things look cute. Let's take a little curve out the eye at the bottom first. So a little double-ended flick off just there. Just to add that little cheekbone. See how it starts and finishes outside of the eye circle. So double-ended flick off, so it's fat in the middle, it's flicked off either end. Then what we'll do is we're going to go around the rest of the eyeball. And what you should get is a little eye poking out from a cheekbone. So on the outside of the eye, let's just do a little bit more work on the outside of the eye. So at the top, what we're going to do is at the top, we're going to take a little line that goes across and flicks up into the forehead, to the middle of the forehead. So just go follow this around. Just flick that line up to the middle of the forehead. Just looks like a little concerned line. This next one's a little floater, so watch this little floater. It's going to come back. Imagine that line going out there, coming back and down there. Just for a little bit of skin around that eye. Okay, let's put a little eyelid in. Little line going across for the eyelid. And then for the pupils, if you want to make this character look a little bit weird, then do the pupil just hanging off the eyelid. If you want to make it look a bit more normal, then just do the pupil a bit further down. So we've got a black circle with a white circle inside it. So essentially two circles, colour the outside bit in black. Makes it look very normal like that, just with a slight eyelid. Okay, have you got that? Let's go and repeat that over on the other side. Exactly the same process. Little cheek first. And the rest of the eyeball second. Make our character look concerned with that flick that goes into the forehead. And then we come back on ourselves with that little bit of that little flick off around the top of the eye, so the top of the eyebrow. So imagine that line coming back, so sort of turning around, coming back, going over there. What does look really neat here is if you can make that eyebrow be outside this pencil line, so some big fat eyebrows, that would look really cool. The only thing you've got to remember is make sure that line starts and finishes inside the pencil line. Okay, let's whack a little eyebrow on. Not an eyebrow, that was an eyebrow we've just done. Let's whack a little eyelid on, and then a pupil with a reflection. Colour the back in black. Okay, it's looking good. Right, where are we next? Next part is the, let's go and finish off the rest of that head. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Not too much with the rest of this head to do. What we are going to concentrate on is adding some cheekbones, some boils, some ears, and a big chin as well. So let's add the important bits first. Let's go and add those cheekbones. So these cheekbones are going to be nice and subtle. We're going to use the positioning of these little lumps around the eye and just try and bring in a cheekbone. And the cheekbone is just a little double-ended flick off, starts and finishes inside the pencil line. There's our cheekbone. Now my cheeks look really round actually. That was unintentional. That's a Brucey bonus if that's happening for you. If it's not happening, don't panic. That was not the intention. The intention was just to have little cheeks in there that are just going to break up the outside of the fat head. Right, next bit we're going to do, let's go and throw on a couple of boils. So let's go up here because we just want to start and finish inside the head with a little capital C shape. Again, just see how they both straddle that pencil line. Let's do one down here as well. Capital C shape. And then the last bit we're going to do is a chin. Again, the same way as the cheekbones kind of break up the boringness of a big round face, we can also add this chin in. So again, starting and finishing inside the pencil line. Let's go like this. That's going to be like a bucket shape. So it starts there. It's going to come out. It's going to go back in. Flicks there, like a bucket or like a bowl kind of shape. Double line it, flicked off either end. Okay, that's looking great. Next line, let's go around the rest of our head. So here we go. Start at the top, work your way down. Make sure you're going behind those boils. Make sure you get behind those cheekbones. Make sure you double line as you go along. Make sure everything is watertight as well. So just be thinking, right, have I made this head watertight so that there's no gaps to the outside? So back up the other side. Okay, last thing on the outside of the head is a couple of ears. We're just going to put in a couple of big C shapes somewhere across there. It doesn't really matter where you put them in too much. I'm going to put them in here, going from the cheekbone onto the lip. A big C shape, and then coming out the bottom, top of that C. Just follow that curve again. Let's do that curve one more time. just on the inside there. And then about halfway along that line, just a little flick down. Okay, we've got ourselves a nice ear. Let's go and do the same kind of thing over on the other side. Doesn't have to be exactly spot on. Outer ear, inner ear, little flick down. That'll do. Okay, a couple more bits and then we'll get on with a thinner pen. Let's go and put some wrinkles in the head. So across the head, look. Put a little wavy line. Put 2 wavy lines for some little wrinkles. Between the head and the ear, let's do a little bouncy line. Like that. Little bouncy line that we can then colour in. So go and grab your 0.5. Not your 0.5, your 1.5. Go and throw some black. And again, this is just adding to the contrast of the piece quite nicely. Okay, there's our clown. What else do we want to add in? Okay, just the last few little bits with the 0.5, then we're going to go on to the 0.1. So the last few bits are, let's just go and make this clown look a little bit weirder with some flicked out lines for a few little hairs here and there. Don't think too much about it, just go and throw a few on the ears, on the chin. Just going to make it look a little bit more scruffy. Okay, now we can go and get our 0.1. So here's the things we're going to do in the point with that 0.1 is just going to go and add loads of extra little details in there. We're going to go in and make the hat look a bit more 3D just by shading in certain aspects of the hat. We're going to go into the eyes. We're going to shade in the eyelids. Also going to then put some makeup on our character. So we'll put some little triangles above and below the eyes and some little cheekbones in, that kind of stuff. We're going to put an extra bit of shading in the nose, extra shading in the lips, some teeth grain, and then maybe just some blotted skin all over the place as well. So okay, let's start at the top and work our way down. First thing we'll do is let's go and put in some shadow on this hat. So we'll take a little line going across there. Little line going across there, and I'm going to shade that in by just putting some lines going top to bottom. And the same for that bit at the back there. From where we've done that line, let's just put a little line out here as well, look. And again, some lines going top to bottom for the dark side of the hat. Obviously, if you're using colour, you can put a lot more into that hat if you want. Put some stars and stripes on it if you want to make it look like Captain Spaulding. I'm going to flick a little line there. Lovely. That'll do. What was we doing next? Let's get down into the eyes. So the main thing for me is the eyelids. Let's go and put some shade in the eyelids first. And this time I'm going to go side to side. But then I said about putting some makeup on the eyes. Do you remember that? The makeup is going to be just some little triangles across the top. So a little triangle, shade it out with some lines. Same on this side, little triangle, shade it out with some lines. Let's do the same underneath as well, look. Into the cheekbones, let's give our character some cheeks, little lines in those cheeks to shade those out. See how it's starting to look a lot more like a clown now. Let's get into the nose. First thing we want to do on the nose is put in a big old reflection. There's my reflection. It's always a bubble writing exclamation mark. And again with the lines, look, I'm going to go side to side again, because that's what I've been doing with all the other lines in the face. Just making sure you're going around those reflections. Let's go and get into the lips. What do you want to do in the lips? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make them stand out, make them pop out a little bit more by putting some curves on that. So watch this, look, just little curves like that. Do some down the bottom as well. You kind of want these outside edges to be the bits you do. You don't want to get too close to the center. In the center, those curves will be pretty much straight lines. So just try and do those outside edges. Stay in those lips. Let's go and put some little circles in here and there. And then we can get into the teeth. Now with the teeth, all we're going to do is we're going to put some little bits of graining on. So just flick a few lines up. On the top set of teeth, probably just 2 or 3 lines on each tooth. Same at the bottom. Shading in those teeth. Over in the chin, let's go and put a butt chin in. Now you could do this with a fatter pen, but just 2 little curves like that for our butt chin. And I think we are about done. So yeah, a couple of little extra bits then that you might want to do. Go and put some decorations on the outside. I want to send the teeth a bit further back, so I'm going to put a little black line across the top of the teeth. But yeah, it's over to you now. Do what you want to do to yours. Make yours stand out a little bit more. I've got the bare bones of a clown in there, so that's good. Just going to use my fat pen actually. There you go, just to try and send those teeth back a little bit. Looks a bit like a shadow on the bottom of the lip, but that doesn't bother me though. That kind of works okay for me. Okay, I'm going to throw in a few more little boils and things. A few more little wrinkles. Just flicking some little lines out, look. Little spots. And there we go. Yeah, that'll do me. I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to overwork it. It was all about trying to do something that was cute but scary. I think this looks ugly enough, but you've also got a little bit of sympathy for it just because of the way the eyes, the little lines on the top of those eyes have come in. There it is. Right, I hope you enjoyed that session. Post it on social media, post it in the community. Tag me in it if you do post it on social media so I can see it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video.